Yes, I did it again. I got another bike. I also got Cat. This is Bruno. Did you know they're free? If you just find one on the street, they come up to you, it's yours. That's the Cat distribution system. But, well, welcome back. What's it been, like 3 years since we started this channel and this project? And, well, I haven't really made much progress on this bike. I was going to make a video soon about some of the things I had planned, but, well, another one landed in my lap. So as you all saw from the intro, I got another one. Same place I got this one and as the first one. About the same price too. $2,800 for that one. I remember I paid like $1,400 for this one. And my first one I paid like $2,200 for about 10 years ago. So the market for these things is pretty stable. 10 years later, I found another red one, and it's basically the same bike condition that my first one was 10 years ago. Everything looks pretty good on it. Looks like somebody slammed into the back of something like a tall truck or something like that. Looked like a squid. He's got Vortex stickers all over the thing, and you know, some of the cheap, crappy plastic style CBR grips, the smoothies. I hate those. They get yellowed and they turn, they're gross. So that guy probably didn't know what he was doing. The previous owner before that probably did, though, because it's a low mile, well kept bike. It's got about 14,000, something like that, miles on it. Like this one has about, I think, 20 on it on this engine. That one over there has, I think, also about 20,000 or something like that. They're all about the same. All three, this engine, that engine, and the new one, all have about the same miles on them. Now, my first bike has 50,000 miles on it, but it's been going strong this whole time. I really haven't had to do much to it other than the stator rectifier and general maintenance on that thing. I haven't had to touch the clutch or any of this side of the engine. Haven't had to open it up. Just brakes and simple stuff, changing the oil. So I know that between these three, I've got a lifetime of CBR929 riding. Just have to, I guess, pick my priorities now. So the goal is for 2025 season, we're going to put this one on hold. This one, we still don't know how good that engine is. We haven't really played around with it. See, I mean, it does leak oil. I've got a little catch pan underneath, and over the past few months, it has dripped a little bit. So we're gonna have to go through this thing. The seals on it, and it doesn't have any oil in it. I drained it, so the seals around are just bad, probably in the bottom end somewhere. So it might not seal up with that damage on the left side, but like I said, we have this other one under here, and we will get to that, but we might not need to worry about that just yet. We're gonna try to run this, and if it just drops a drop or two every now and then, I might just put up with it if everything else is strong and tight inside. We don't know. This one, I think we're gonna rob for parts for this new red bike. The wheels and tires I definitely want because we just got those balanced with new bearings in them. These are brand new Michelin Pilot tires that they're only going to dry rot sitting in here for another season. So let's get them on the bike and use them. The other bike has Dunlops on them. They're flat spotted and pretty old, so we'll take those off. Otherwise, that bike does look like, nuts and bolts wise, it looks really well kept. It looks like it was an inside bike. It has some oxidation on some of the bottom end stuff around the fairing bolts and things, but as far as the caliper bolts and rotor bolts and some of that hardware, the bigger, more important stuff, it all looks in really good condition. So I'm going to steal the rotors off of the new bikes we bought, wheels, because they're just a little bit nicer shape than these. But otherwise, we're just going to yank these wheels off, swap them over, and put the new Brembo pads that we have in a box, not these. We won't steal those. And then it should just be cosmetic stuff. Otherwise, the bike's in great shape. It has no dents in the tank, unbelievably, just a couple little paint chips, but somehow he didn't hurt the tank. It has been laid over on its left side. He has the non-Honda logo cover on it, the aftermarket cheapo one, so he dropped it. And of course, the frame slider on that side is scuffed, so he dropped it on the left side. But the plastic is savable. I just need to rebuild those little tabs. These cheap little tabs like you get you know, those, I got to rebuild a couple of those with some plastic washers and some super glue and melt and plastic welding. I don't know. We'll see what we have to do there. But got new frame sliders, so we can just pop these on. Another set of Delrin Shoguns. And like the rest of the cosmetics as far as the front end is just a headlight, the plastic, which I bought again from eBay. Maybe it was AliExpress, I can't even remember now, but it was one of these Chinese $100 specials, and it's fine. It's even got a Honda logo up there, but they didn't put the CBR sticker on the side. I guess because, you know, when you put it together, you line them up first, then you put the sticker, then you cut it. Sticker set from Poland that I got a long time ago that's for that bike. So might just steal the CBR stickers out of that and maybe the tail stickers, because this red bike doesn't have them. For some reason, the red is perfect. I don't know if he got it repainted or anything, but the tail is straight and the plastic is perfect, but for some reason the white stickers are missing. So I might take those out of the kit, but we also have the kit that we got from China that I showcased in my previous video, and that kit, I've only put about half of it on the red bike number 1. So that bike I haven't showed you all yet since I've freshened it up, but I've taken the front plastic and the side plastics off the new kit, and I think the cowl pieces, and put those on with the clear windscreen, and then that's pretty much it. Everything else, the bottom end belly pan and tail plastic from that kit is still upstairs. So I might just take those pieces and put on red bike number 2 and finish it off that way. I didn't have the nose plastic, obviously, from the previous bike to save. It was too crumpled. It had all kinds of cracking, and the previous owner had zip tied it and drilled it and stuff. So, and you couldn't even mount a headlight in it. So that piece is upstairs. I might fix it one day. I don't know. But we still also have another blue set of fairings up here that we might need to fix one day. So I don't know. I've got a lot of OEM plastics that, you know, could be freshened up if you took the time to do the body work. But I also have new Chinese stuff that we can slam on real quick. It is going to need a start-stop switch. I don't know if you saw that in the intro video, but yes, the stop-start switch is missing out of it somehow. I don't know how that happened. I think maybe the master cylinder or the fairing came down and smashed it when he ran into something in the front. So it does work right now on the bike, but obviously we need to fix that. So I might take this one, or I might rob this one that we put on this bike, because I put new cables on it, and it's got a new throttle sleeve, and this thing is snappy, and I'd really like to have that on the new bike. So I might just take all this. I realized, though, while I was fussing around with this, that this clip-on is bent. I can't stick my finger down between the top fork cap and the little L riser on the clip-on. On this side, I can. I've got a few of these clip-ons from collecting them over the years, and usually it's not the actual handlebar that bends, it's that L bracket, that little riser part. So this one I think is bent down, and I've got a left one over here that's in good shape, but I didn't have any right ones. The ones on the new red bike number 2, seem to be straight. I can fit my finger down just as much to the first knuckle on both of them. So I think, and then sitting on it and, you know, eyeballing it, it feels about right. So again, there's a little bit of adjustment underneath that I can wiggle them. So, you know, I think as long as the rise and the sweep on the bars is the same, or at least pretty close, we can run it. This, after noticing that and kind of feeling it, yeah, this definitely does feel closer to me, and I don't think I'm going to be able to run it. It's just too bad. So this one I found on eBay for 40 bucks. It's the same price as a start-stop switch. So I got a clip-on, a throttle tube, a stop-start switch, and extra cables. Why not, right? Great deal. I still think I'm going to just get new stuff eventually, but I at least need that clip-on now to put on the blue bike, just so I can know that that front end is buttoned up. Everything else on that is done. Oh yeah, here's that side plastic off of red bike number 2. See how the R sticker is there? There should be CB. We'll have to cut that off of the other sticker. And like I said, it's actually been fixed down here on this lower tab. You can see where he like booger welded it with some plastic or a zip tie or something. That's probably what I'll do up here. All 3 of these are broken, and this tab is broken too. So this is the one that goes to the cowl up top. I might be able to glue that. If not, it's not critical, but at least I'll get 6 points of contact here. It should be good. But he's dropped it on this side before and tried to fix it. So that's a little bit of history of this bike, like a little bit of scratching right there. But honestly, I don't care. It's solid. It's perfect. I didn't have to buy side plastics. So I'm happy. It will need a front Y bracket for the fairings, windscreen, and the mirrors. I'm going to take this one. This one's crappy, really crappy. The welds on this are just awful, awful, awful. But it's straight. It's got paint on it. The holes are in the right place. I'll use it. That does mean I'm going to have to add those 2 parts to the list for the blue bike, though. Oh, well. I'm also going to steal the tail light that I was going to use because it's got integrated on the other bike. Don't like that. You're going to get hit. You don't have enough light coming off the back, and people can't really differentiate left and right when they're that close together. So I always just like to run separate tail lights and turn signals. So what we're going to do, like we said before, we're going to modify this one like he's done, but do it right. We're going to put a clear piece of plexiglass there, so light from the tail light will shine down onto the license plate, and then we're legal. After that, I'm going to run this mirror from red bike number 1 that we replaced. There's nothing wrong with this one, right? We had the oof, and we dropped it on the other side, so I got the cheap carbon fiber ones that are basically the same thing, though, so really it doesn't matter. It's like $10 or $20 cheaper if you get the carbon fiber ones. I think it's hilarious. But we're going to use this one for now. The other one is carbon fiber on it now, but whatever. They'll be the same shape. They just won't entirely match. I could always spray paint them if I want to. Who cares? I'm going to go ahead and throw an air filter in it. I'm not going to throw spark plugs in it just because it's a pain in the butt to get down behind this rail and get to them. So it's only got 14,000 miles on it. We're going to leave it alone for a few seasons before we get to that. It does have a power commander like this one does. This one has one of these DynoJet Power Commander 5, whatever. I don't know how different they all are, but we don't know if it's going to give it any more power than my stock bike, but we're going to find out, I guess. It does have that D&D slip-on, which is really nice. There's nothing wrong with it. It just has a little dent down here in the collector pipe, the mid pipe. I have another one upstairs that's in perfect condition. I was going to put that... Yes, Kat? I was going to put that one on red bike number 1 because it's cracked here. So I might just run that dented one. It really doesn't matter. The carbon cheapo Chinese one that I have upstairs, I don't know how good that one is or what it's going to do performance-wise. So I'm just going to stick with the name brand ones for the 2 good bikes, and we'll keep with the plan of putting the cheap carbon one on this bike. I will need to steal the perches off of this bike. I do need to steal this little bracket for the master reservoir because, yes, Kat? The guy at the shop bent it down and put a little tiny one on there. So I'm going to steal this and put that on the to order list. Reservoir parts and the diaphragm bits and the rubber gaskets, caps, screws, everything we need for brake rebuild up there. So I'll just go ahead and maybe keep the bottom of this one and clean it out because the plastic's in good shape. It's not cracked. But these little cheapo aftermarket caps, I don't know, they're kind of gaudy, and they're a little bit too tall too. I think they might hit the windscreen. So I got a stock one up there, and we'll go back to stock. And obviously that one's definitely going to need it. Even the diaphragm is like off center there. So all my brakes really need a flush and a rebuild. So we're going to do the first rebuild on red bike number 2. I did have to get a new gauge cluster shell. So this shell is the one that came with the bike, and obviously the tack lens is shattered, and the top little bracket up there is missing. So found one on eBay for like $50, I think, and it has all the tabs. It's got a little bit of brake fluid etched into it from a crash. I cleaned it up enough. I think it's good enough. It's not, at night you really won't even tell. The guy before me did the white gauge conversion. I think it's okay. I'll run with it, whatever. I can't reuse the guts from the eBay one because it got cooked. You see there's like a rainbow ring on the LCD, and the middle of the tack needle got melted, and the black surface around it kind of got discolored. So this thing was either involved in a fire or some electrical work went bad, who knows. But yeah, that's too bad. Maybe I can save some other little gubbins and bits out of that, but the board is fried for sure. Over here in the corner, I have some other parts. I'll bring them over to the light so you can see them. The ignition ring, found one of those in pretty decent shape. The other one was cracked, obviously, and missing like half of it on top. New fuel cap and the keys for the trunk and a new ignition, just like we did on this bike. So I've already done it before. It's no big deal. It's kind of chunky and doesn't feel as precision as the originals, but I think it's a decent aftermarket. And really, at this point, what else can you do? I also have sprocket kits, right? So I have 2 identical sprocket kits. They were going to go for my 2 bikes. Now we're going to rob from one. So we're going to take this, and I also have some of the little rubber baby buggy bumper inserts for the wheels right in the middle of the back wheel. So we're going to do that, freshen all that up. And I also have, a full set of grips. Turn signals, I'm going to go stock. Use the stock ones. These are still available, brand new, pretty cheap, and there's still mounting points on that Hot Bodies kit for these, so that'll be pretty easy. I think the wiring, just gonna solder them in. The gauge cluster for the blue bike does work, by the way. All that stuff seems okay, except it is broken on its little tab up there. I don't know if you can see that, but you can put a big washer over that and hold it down. It'll be fine. The horn mounting bracket is bent on the red bike number 2, so I might just steal this horn or see if we can at least take it off and bend it straight. I assume it works. The other parts of the front end, like the fork tubes and the top and bottom yokes and everything, the axles, everything looks straight. So I don't think the forks got twisted at all in the accident. I think he just slammed it straight into something and it tweaked the Y bracket and maybe knocked some of this crap into the handlebars and broke his switches. This one is also kind of scratched up on the other bike. So this one's brand new, right? We got this one, another eBay special aftermarket, but it's pretty snappy and feels pretty good. So I might steal this one, but the other one does work. It's just cosmetically, a little scratched up. And then, for windscreens, I've got 3 different choices. I got the brand new Chinese tinted one. I have another aftermarket, feels like Chinese tinted one that has a GoPro mount stuck to it that came with the blue bike. And then I have my old faded, or I guess you want to call it a fade tint Puig that came with red bike number 1 when I bought it, and I've been running it for like 10 years. So I put the clear Chinese one on that bike so we can reuse this one too if we want. And I've got coolant and a filter and oil and Brembo brake fluid so we can flush everything and hopefully not see any metal bits in the pan or the filter, and we should be good to go with the red bike. There's really not much else I can think of to tell you guys. The radiator's in good shape on that one. Doesn't seem like it got any dings in it or paint chips or cracks or bends in the hose mounts or anything like that. Everything looks solid there. So that bike really was taken care of for most of its life, and then a squid got it as a second owner, and he probably trashed it a couple times, dropped it, and then slammed into the back of somebody not paying attention, and there you have it. That's how I got it, and that's how I've gotten all my bikes, is somebody doesn't appreciate what they have, and they do something stupid and then get scared and sell it and don't bother to fix it. This one's kind of cool for demonstration purposes right now as a parts bike, but the red bike number 2, we'll call it red bike 2, we'll have in a couple weeks up and ready to go. I should be able to document it all for you guys. I don't think the weather's going to be too bad. I have a few days off, and we'll just need to pop the tank up, swap out the air filter, and redo these throttle and clutch cables, and put on the clip-on accessories, the front wide mount, headlight, fairing, turn signals, gauge cluster, and away we go. So hopefully the inspection with the sheriff won't be too bad on that one. It is a salvage title, but I think it's probably the best condition one of the fleet if we get all this stuff done. I've even got the 929954 manual, so we're going to do everything right. Torque specs and everything. See that one down at the bottom? That's the one we're going to try to turn this one into, right? I really like that color scheme. You don't see many of those. And really that gas tank kind of dictates what we have to do with that one. So yeah, keep along with me in the next few episodes. I think we're going to be on a motorcycle kick for a while, but I do have some road bike stuff coming up too. I got a new set of handlebars, a new integrated cockpit for the Tri-Fox, and it's a different brand. It's from China. It's Avian Canary, and it's really lightweight. And this guy, China Cycling, says it's pretty good, and all the people have talked about it before. It's kind of old news by now. So you guys will see that build hopefully in a couple weeks when the weather gets better for riding bikes, pedal bikes that is. But yeah, I really want to focus on motorcycles and get one of these things going for this year, because nighttime is the right time, and it's like 60 degrees outside. So if it's above 60, I'm riding. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later.